Everyone says be practical, and I just don't get it. At least in my life, I have never been in a situation where my faith looked like practicality. Back in 2018, I was invited to take my first company to be a vendor at an event that was already closed, but there was one spot available because one vendor dropped out. I'm going to jump through the story a little bit quickly because there's a lot of details that go into it, but we're going to get to the point so you can get the message. It cost $200 for me to secure my vending spot. It was a week away. I paid the $200 and all I had was $68 left in my bank account. Yes, $68. God told me that I was going. He gave me a yes. I trusted his yes. Regardless of what my bank account looked like, regardless of the organization that I had to put in place, I trusted his yes. I had to rent a car, book a hotel. It was a 3-day event. I had to be able to drive down. Even though I had a vehicle at the time, I didn't trust that it was going to make it the 14-hour drive. I had to buy ingredients, buy packaging. This event was going to host about 1,000 women. At minimum, I got to bring at least 1,000 units. So before I could go make the money, I had to spend some money. But remember, all I had was $68 in my bank account. And so God started to give me strategy during the week. He told me, I want you to book the hotel at a certain time of the week, make an appointment with my mother so that she could drop me off at the car rental place so that I could pick up my vehicle. I still had to figure out what I was going to do for packaging, and I still had to figure out what I was going to do for ingredients. I gave her the $200 on a Saturday. By that Monday, I had a friend who did not know I needed the packaging. She accidentally ordered cases of packaging that was the wrong size for them. She shows up at my door one day, says, Mel, I'm not sure if you can use this. I open up the boxes. It's the exact packaging that I was already using for my desserts. So now packaging is taken care of. Tuesday comes around. My mother randomly said, I don't know why, but I just felt led to buy you some groceries. Now, mind you, my mother did not know. Because, see, this is the thing about faith I've also learned. A lot of times, you're going to be walking that thing by yourself until God qualifies a friend to walk with you. Why is it that the majority of the ingredients are the ingredients I needed to make the product I was selling? On this same day, I made sure to secure the hotel. I scheduled or reserved a rental vehicle. Wednesday comes around. I make sure I confirm my appointment with my mother at 8 a.m. in the morning for Thursday. Mother comes on Thursday morning. And before I can even get dressed, I said, let me check my bank account one more time. It still says $68 in my bank account. Okay. My mother still doesn't know that I'm walking by faith. We get in her car. We go to the location where I reserved the vehicle. And when I get there, they say there's no more vehicles. So the gentleman at the desk says, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go to our next closest location. So before we can get there, I still had to reserve another vehicle. God will get people out of the way who are not willing to abide by his directions. And so if people don't listen to what God is telling them to do for you, he will get them out the way. We get to the second location. Before I could even get out my mother's car to go in, I checked my bank account one more time. Guess what it said, y'all? $68. That's what it said. It says $68. I go inside, tell the woman my name. I said I made a reservation. She checks to see what's there. She pulls everything up, charges everything up. It says it'll be $480-something for the weekend. I just checked my bank account that says $68. I gave her my card and literally said to her, swipe it and see what happens. And this was a debit card. So I deleted the very best part of the story. And it is this. She swipes my card and I'm waiting to see if I'm going to get a declined response. But all of a sudden I start to hear receipts coming through. So now I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, Lord, what just happened? Because remember, I'm using a debit card. And as you guys know, if you've ever rented a car before, when you go to the rental car place, not only do they have to hold $200 to $300 on your card, but then they also charge you for the rental fee, right? So where did the money come from? Because I checked 2 seconds before I walked into that establishment and all I had was $68 in my bank account. Not only did the order go through, I'm still sitting here like, okay, Lord, what did you just do? She then hands me the keys. I sign my paperwork, and she says, we also decided to upgrade you, but we have the best full size extra trunk space, like all the extras. So I got like the extra upgrade. I go check out the car. It is perfect. It's actually one of their brand new cars on the lot. It is pristine. Okay. Everything works out. And of course, what do? Let me check my bank account one more time. And guess what I saw in that bank account, y'all? Thousands of dollars deposited into my bank account through my business. At the time, I used the platform Square. So if you've ever used that for your business, you know that when people pay invoices or whatever have you, the money goes into that Square account first. It does not go directly into the business account or personal account or anything like that. It goes straight into the Square account first. Not only was it miraculous that the money went directly to my personal account, which is not how I had it set up, but the client who decided to pay her invoice was early, so she didn't have to pay that invoice for maybe another month. But her invoice was broken up into payments, and yet for whatever the reason, at the exact same time when the woman decided to swipe my card, my account got the deposit of her full payment a month early. And this was a sizable payment. Y'all know I did wedding. Well, maybe you didn't know, but I did weddings. And this was a 5-tier cake. I was catering a dessert table and all the things. So you do the math. Now let's just get back to the rest of the video. But that was just half the miracle. I have to do the rest of it in a whole nother video. But what's the moral of the story? The moral is this. If God gives you a yes, if he opens up the door, if he tells you to go, if he gives you an assignment, if he gives you strategy, gives you a dream, gives you something to do, your job is to do it. Your job is to be obedient. Your job is to get there. Why? Because our responsibility is to do what he's called us to do and let God be God, because only he can do what only he can do. Okay? I promise you, none of this is practical. None of this makes sense to the logical thinker. But I promise you, when God gives you a yes, that's exactly what he means. I hope y'all learned something. Step in faith, y'all. I promise you, you will be covered and protected. I love you.